Hey guys, Jordan with Haunted Outdoors here. Looking forward to that turkey season, which is right around the corner here in Minnesota. Starts the 17th, and a lot of the guys on the team are very excited to get out there. We've got people that hunt with guns and with archery tackle. Today I'm going to spend a little bit of time going over a couple different methods as far as broadheads to use when you're hunting turkeys with archery equipment. Just the differences and why, the ups and downs of each type one. So I'm going to dive right into it. There's basically two trains of thought when it comes to broadheads. The first one is basically taking that arrow right off the quiver that you use for deer hunting, and I'm assuming that most people that archery hunt for turkeys also deer hunt with their bow, but yeah, the first train of thought is just taking that broadhead right off your quiver and using the same exact setup as you do for deer. So if you're using the same arrow, you're using the same broadhead, the cool thing about that is you don't have to resight your bow in, you don't have to have it retuned, it's going to shoot true, you can take a few dozen shots and you should be good to go for turkey season. What I've got here is just a Rage Tri-Pan. Let's see if we can focus. Everybody should see these. They're everywhere on TV. Let's see if I can focus in on it. There we go. The cool thing about using a mechanical, and if you're going to use a typical whitetail broadhead, I would recommend a large cutting mechanical broadhead just because it gives you a little bit more margin for error when it comes to turkeys. Two reasons. Turkeys are very tough, and the main reason I should say is the fact that the turkey's vitals are tiny. They're not much bigger than a softball, so you got to hit a pretty small target and be confident on where that target is. So again, the two recommendations with broadheads like this, I'd use a large expandable like a Tri-Pan, or they make even bigger ones, Rage Extreme, or anything with a lot of cutting area, again, to make up for margin of error. And the second thing, and the most important thing, is being familiar with a turkey's vitals. This is what I struggled with when I first started archery hunting back in, I think it was 9th or 10th grade. I didn't do a very good job of being familiar with the vitals, so I just kind of guessed and shot turkeys where I thought their vitals should be, which it didn't pan out well. And then even after that, after I hit up YouTube with all the videos out there with turkey anatomy, I unfortunately wounded a couple turkeys. But I'll just say that if you're going to shoot turkeys in the body, take the time to be familiar with a turkey's anatomy so you know what you're aiming for. Turkeys come in out of strut, so it's not like a deer where you can pinpoint those vitals regardless. Turkeys can double themselves in size by puffing those feathers up, so it can be misleading. And if you have ever shot a 3D target that's a turkey, the vitals where they have the target rings are all over the place and usually incorrect. So what I'll do is in the comments below, I'm going to tag or post a video that I've used over the years to become more familiar, and it does a great job of depicting where those vitals are on a turkey when they're in strut, out of strut, and whichever way they're facing, just so you're more familiar. So yeah, study up and do the right thing so you're prepared to make an ethical shot on those turkeys. So like I said, I had some unfortunate mishaps and lost a couple turkeys, so ever since then I've been changing to the Magnus bullhead. Let's see if I can zoom in on this one, or focus I should say. This is a monster, huge broadhead. Struggling to focus, but this is obviously a headshot broadhead. You're going to shoot turkeys in the neck and head with this thing. And the reason I like this is the fact that it is a all or nothing type of shot. You're either going to hit that turkey and 95% of the time they're going to drop right where they stand and that's it, lights out, or you're going to miss them. Okay, not going to wound a bird. You're not going to do anything. It's dead on contact most times. And the thing about it is most people look at a broadhead like this and say, I can't hit a turkey in the head, that's a tiny target. When really, especially when a turkey's in full strut, he's got his neck back and his head pinned back and has his neck and head kind of clumped together. It's approximately the same size as those vitals you'd be aiming for with your other broadheads. So the target size isn't much different, and it's not hidden. It's going to be right there, either white, red, or blue, sitting there for you to aim at. So another thing I struggled with is when a turkey would come in and I'm looking to shoot it, I get the worst case of turkey fever in the world. And I challenge anybody. I get lightheaded, I get shaky, and focusing on those vitals is something I really struggle with. But being able to aim at the turkey's neck and head with a Magnus bullhead really helps me out. And the thing to keep in mind when you're trying to archery hunt turkeys is to bring them in close. Okay, last year I shot my turkey at 7 yards. 2 years before that it was 6 yards. Bring them in close to make that shot more ethical and easier for you. Now with these, you're going to want to do a couple different things. I mentioned with your typical broadhead, you can use that same arrow and not have to resight in or retune anything. With these, you're going to want to use a little different arrow. This is a 4-fletched feather arrow. It's a full-length arrow, and it's a little bit stiffer because it's a little bit longer. Okay, this is a 300 spine arrow, and it's full length. And the reason you want a full length or uncut arrow is when you're drawing back, you have clearance, so you're not cutting your hand or hitting your sight or anything like that. So that's the main thing there. And you know, this Magnus bullhead comes, they sell a set with these arrows. So it's they do a great package deal with these arrows, and they do a great job of flying true. But what you're doing is you're sighting in for a 6, 7, maybe a 10-yard shot. You might have to tweak your sight a little bit. A tuned bow should be able to shoot these just fine, but you might have to tweak it a little bit. And then for target shooting, you might be thinking, what do I shoot this thing at? It's going to rip up my target. Can't shoot it at a bag target. What you do is you go down to Walmart or Target and you buy yourself a $5 pillow, draw a little bullseye on there, and you can shoot this thing repeatedly and then cover it up with some packaging tape. So this will literally hit this target, or this pillow, not a target, but we're turning it into one, and the arrow will drop. Now, another great thing is if you are doing the right thing and doing some practice with these Magnus bullheads, is they come with a lifetime warranty. No questions asked. So if you're shooting at this pillow a bunch of times to get dialed in and a blade flips off, you send them a picture and they'll send you a replacement blade. So it's a great deal. But do, you know, if you're going to use these, just like anything, you want to be accurate, and like I said, do the most ethical thing and prepare so you make the best shot possible. Bring those turkeys in close, whether you're shooting them in the body or the head. Be prepared, know the turkey's anatomy, and good luck out there. We'd love to see your success photos, and yeah, please send them in. If any questions you might have on this video, we'd love to answer those as well.